Okay, thank you, Melanie. Melanie said you should be able to remember my name. There's a Melanie in your family too, and I thought there certainly is, and I should be able to remember that. Melanie, thanks for being here today. Thanks for your willingness to help in this effort. And Kit, it's great to have your help. When Kit said it's been 38 years, I thought surely not 38 years, and then I calculated, in fact, it had been 38 years. Who would have thought that I would have known Kit Bond that long? He's been a good, close friend of mine, particularly the last decade in Washington, where we've worked together to do lots of things for our state. I'm so grateful to him for his service to the state. You know, as I've watched people serve us in the Senate, whether I was a statewide elected official or a university president or a member of Congress, as I looked at our two senators, I always saw Kit Bond as the guy who every single day was fighting for Missouri, who every day was watching out for us. If there was a competition to be had, Kit Bond was going to be in there competing for our state. He's so taken to heart the issues that affect our state. We've talked today, as we've traveled around, about a wide range of issues that affect Missouri specifically, individual things about our state. And his commitment to detail, his commitment to the next 19 months will continue to be a great commitment for us. As he said, in the last few years particularly, as he and I both had these highest level intelligence briefings as leader, and now we're both members of the committees on each side of the Capitol that monitor the threats to the country. Kit has been a leading advocate for protecting our country. And when we did have to work together with the majority leader, Steny Hoyer, I actually liked him better when he was the minority whip. But that's not the way the world works anymore. He's a good friend of mine. We worked together. We were able to put together a bipartisan compromise, as frankly we've had to do lots of times over the years. You know, we never had the numbers in our majority that would allow us to pass anything without some Democrats voting with us. It just didn't happen, never happened. We passed the rules, we decided who the speaker was going to be by ourselves, but after that, we had to always reach out and figure out how you could bring some people from the other side. And in Washington today, our side doesn't matter as much as it has in the past, and when our side doesn't recruit a few Democrats on the Senate and hold a coalition together, the majority just does whatever it wants to do. You know, the stimulus bill that spent more money than the Congress has ever spent ever on anything, layered on top of the regular budget, almost $1 trillion. Three Republicans decided to vote with the Democrats at one afternoon. This bill is available for the first time, 1,100-page bill, available for the first time at 11 at night. We have voted on the bill by 2 o'clock the next afternoon, and not a single member of the Congress read it. We just had a vote on the budget, this blueprint for the future that heads the country in a direction that will ensure higher interest rates, that will ensure inflation, that ensures unbelievable levels of debt, and every Republican in the House and the Senate voted against it. The bipartisan vote in the House was 17 Democrats voting with all of the Republicans no. Now, I don't think you probably saw that too many times in any publication or on any news, that the bipartisan movement in the House today was to stop this budget from going forward. But there are issues out there that dramatically affect our state. There are issues that have major flaws in them, but people only see those flaws if you're able to slow down the discussion enough and participate in the debate enough, that when we talk about cap and trade, the national energy tax, that we realize in our state that means, if you listen to the municipal utilities or the electrical co-ops, none of which make a profit, by the way, they just pass along the cost, that within the first 5 years or so, everybody's utility bill would double in a state like ours, where almost 90% of our energy comes from coal. Double. So go home, find your bill, or look at next month's bill. If you want it to be twice that high in 2012, you would definitely want this bill to pass, because that will guarantee that your utility bill will be twice that high. Or think about the place you work or the institution you work in. If the utility bills here at the University of Missouri are twice as high as they are today, something that you and I care about that's happening on this campus is going to not be done, because you just simply have to deal with that reality. The idea of a government takeover of health care. I'm organizing our debate on the House side right now on health care to ensure that we have a system that everybody has access to, that's more affordable, that's more doctor-patient focused, but isn't government run. Tax policy, immigration policy, defense policy, all these things are very much out there subject to dramatic change that won't happen if in fact the American people have a chance to see that debate develop before their eyes. And my view is that the Senate is the place where that is the most likely to happen. The Senate at this moment is where the fight is. I would have been thrilled if Kit Bond would have called me in January and said, just called to tell you I'm running for the Senate again. But that wasn't how that call went. After several weeks of figuring out what is it going to take to hold this Senate seat, to ensure that we have divided government for the next few years, that we have a balance of power restored in Washington, that means that Missourians have to hold on to this seat and keep it in the Republican column. 71 of the 89 men and women Republicans in the Missouri House endorsed me yesterday. I'm grateful for their endorsement, and that was released yesterday. I'm particularly grateful to have Kit's endorsement. Joanne mentioned this morning in Cape Girardeau that she and all of my Republican House colleagues from Missouri in Washington are helping actively in this campaign. I think all of us who are close to this debate know how critically important it is to the future of our state and the future of our country. Somehow, Missouri always seems to wind up in the middle of every big political fight, whether it's a presidential election or now whether or not we really are able to keep a balance of power in Washington by keeping this seat in the Republican column, and hopefully beginning to do the kind of great job that Kit Bond has done and done so well. So I'm pleased to be with him today. I'm pleased to be with you today, and I am absolutely committed to do whatever it takes to be sure that Missourians understand the issues facing America, and that they understand where I stand on those issues. And hopefully whoever else is interested in running for the Senate will be willing to say where they stand as well. So thank you for being here, and if you've got some questions, we'll